the popular white group of kids really dominated and ruled the school, and all of the ethnic people were kind of seen as like inferior.
What was your high school experience like?
I had such low self-esteem in high school and college. I would say that's gotten just marginally better at the age of 25. But I will be honest, I loved high school. I was on homecoming court 3 out of 4 years. Every time they announced that over the intercom, I genuinely thought people were bullying me. So, I always thought everyone hated me, but I think I actually had it pretty good.
Again, I think this is a hindsight thing, but I realized that I was really adept at trying to fit into various different groups, which led to a lot of surface level relationships. I had my core, like 2-3 best friends, and then everything else was just kind of very fluffy, which I think is the norm for high school, but also for me, it was just because, I didn't really feel at home.
Lack of diversity at the school definitely played a role in making me feel further isolated. And I'm like super introverted, so that didn't help on top of that. I had like one super good friend at school, she was like one of the only Asian people at the school. And I was telling her like, oh, I'm talking to my college friends and they say their high schools had all these like crazy parties and all these people smoked and did drugs. And isn't it wild that like no one had parties at our high school? And she told me, wait, they did. Like, you just were never invited, but they totally happen all the time.
Probably like a lot of Asian people, we studied hard. I went to an especially Asian high school, so there were no parties. People were studying all the time. Not a lot of dating either, which is one of the reasons why I chose not to date.
Middle of Ohio, super white, super conservative, so conservative, in fact, that Donald Trump came and spoke to our school. There were a lot of racist people at my school. Growing up, it was a little tricky, people would make comments on the playground or in middle school, and then once I got to high school, it wasn't so outright racist remarks, but there was definitely subtle racism happening every single day in the hallways, in the classrooms. The popular white group of kids really dominated and ruled the school, and all of the ethnic people were kind of seen as like inferior, which is kind of sad, but that's how it was growing up in a mostly white area.
Yo, I'm still known as the Key Club girl. I still meet people and they're like, I knew you from Key Club. And I'm like, dude, that is so crazy. What a weird past life of mine. But high school, I was very known and very active in Key Club. I went to Decon, Icon, and did all the regional things, was president, ran for LTG, all that good stuff. And I was very outgoing, so my high school experience was really great because of Key Club. I got to do so many things, be very active in my community, and also meet a lot of people who came from the same background. It was not an Asian club, but there were quite a bit of Asian people in the club.
If you've seen the movie Mean Girls, then that's pretty close to what you would have got at Morgantown High. We even had cool Asians and nerdy Asians, and there weren't even that many of us, and yet we had those kind of cliques. The popular kids hung out with the popular kids alone and didn't really branch out, and then everyone else, had their own cliques and everything, and everyone kind of stuck to those. Football games every Friday, athletics was huge. The arts, were not as respected as they probably should have been. It was very stereotypical. And I will certainly say that I learned a lot about how you deal with people, how you handle conflict, because there was certainly a lot of that in my high school.
First kiss. My first kiss. Wow, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? My first kiss.